Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah and this is Sassy Life Story. Today's video is going to be a drugstore sunscreen review. So today I've got my Sunbum Face SPF 50. This is a broad spectrum SPF 50, meaning it has both UVA and UVB protection. It's water resistant up to 80 minutes and it says it's lightweight, oil-free, fragrance-free, breakout-free, gluten-free, vegan. So they're calling out a lot of things on here. This is a chemical sunscreen, which means that the filters are not zinc oxide or titanium dioxide, which are those which typically lead to a white cast. So the chemical filters in here should typically mean that there isn't a white cast. What they have is avobenzone, homosalate, octasalate, and octocrylene. So I have my 1/4 teaspoon here, so I'm gonna just go ahead and show that to you. So it does say it is a 1/4 teaspoon. So this is the recommended amount to apply to your face, and you should be applying another 1/4 teaspoon to your neck and ears. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply a 1/4 teaspoon of this to my face so you can see what it looks like. So go ahead and squeezing in a 1/4 teaspoon. So this might be a little bit extra, which is totally fine. It looks about right. So, but if I get a little bit onto my neck, or if we account for some amount being on my fingers while I'm applying, then that kind of covers us for that. This is a pretty liquidy sunscreen, so it's not like a firm cream or that kind of texture. It is a pretty lotiony sunscreen. It's not totally fluid like some sunscreens can be, but it does have a pretty liquidy texture. So if you're trying to apply enough sunscreen to your face, it can help to apply it in sections. So I'm just kind of dotting it onto areas of my face and starting to rub in. This is not first impressions. I've used this sunscreen a lot of times, and I do like this sunscreen a lot. It does have a little bit of a scent. It's kind of like a sunscreen scent mixed with something else. But it's a little bit like a fresh scent, pretty nice. So I've only applied part of this, but I'm gonna go ahead and I didn't put on a headband, so I'm just gonna move my bangs so I can apply some sunscreen under there. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab some more. Try to get everything that's in here out. Okay, so that was pretty much everything that was in our 1/4 teaspoon. And I'm gonna go ahead and just work on rubbing that all into my face. Put a little bit more under my bangs. I do like to make sure I get enough sunscreen under my bangs as well. You know, it could be a windy day and they could get blown out of place. So I try to make sure to get that whole area. You also want to make sure to get your eye area. Sunscreens can irritate your eyes. This sunscreen I haven't found to sting my eyes, so that's pretty good for me. Having a water resistant sunscreen can help with that because it does mean it stays in place a little bit better. So it won't run into your eyes as easily. And I did all that without a mirror. This does not leave a white cast for me. I can't speak to everybody's skin tone, of course, but it does have those chemical filters, so it should not have a white cast for the most part. I find this to be, although it says it's lightweight and oil-free, I do find it to be quite moisturizing, so I will go without a moisturizer sometimes. It does tend to settle in a little bit, so it doesn't stay as moisturizing for the whole day, but I definitely do feel like it has some thickness to it if I touch my skin. It doesn't feel heavy just hanging out on my face, but if I do touch my skin, I can kind of feel that I do feel that protective layer of the sunscreen that's there. So I've gone ahead and let it sit for a little bit just so you could see if there was any difference in what it looks like. And I'm gonna talk about pros and cons a little bit. So something that I do really like is that it does have that lotion texture that's a little bit, it moves away from the like pasty white texture of sunscreen that you might think about if you're thinking about a sunscreen you don't enjoy. So it is very easy to apply. You can apply a lot of it without feeling like it's difficult to rub in, anything like that. I do think that it is pretty moisturizing, which I enjoy. However, if you have more oily skin or you like a matte finish, you might not enjoy this. But it could still work for you if you don't use a moisturizer and you use more mattifying products on top for your day, such as a mattifying foundation or a powder. It doesn't sting my eyes, so that's great for me. I can't speak to everybody, but I think that the water resistance helps with that. I also like that it's in a bigger tube. So this is a 3-ounce bottle, which is great compared to some of the facial sunscreens you might find on the market that are smaller bottles, like a 1.7 ounce. So this is a nice size, and you don't have to feel like you need to only apply a little bit because it costs a lot of money or it's a small tube. It is from the drugstore. Off the top of my head, I can't remember how much it was, but it is more reasonably priced than some sunscreens you might find out there. I also like that they mention being sure to use other sun protective measures as well. So wearing long sleeve shirts, pants, hats, and sunglasses, and limiting your time in the sun. Sunscreen can only help you so much. There are certain times of day that the UV index is higher, so you want to avoid sun exposure then when possible. And the way that the sun protection factor works is it actually just increases the amount of time until you will burn. So there is a end limit to that eventually as well. So you want to think about that too. And I like that they've included some information about that on the back. Overall, I think this is a great sunscreen. I do notice it has a little bit of that sunscreen smell. Because it's not fragranced, it's more just the smell of the sunscreen ingredients that I think you're smelling, not any specific added smell. But if you don't like that, you might not enjoy this. If you don't like a moisturizing sunscreen, you might not enjoy this. But otherwise, I think it's all pretty well done, and I think that they've done a good job. I think this is the first sunscreen I've tried from Sunbum, but I would be interested in trying their other sunscreens. I believe they have a mineral facial option that's tinted and untinted, and they also have body options. So, I'm definitely interested in trying those, and I think it is a great sunscreen to pick up from the drugstore if you're in the market for one. So that is my review of this sunscreen. I hope you enjoyed. I will link my other drugstore sunscreen videos, and I have a bunch more to do, so stay tuned, subscribe if you want to see more of those. Bye.